What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your guy, Sirr Love. We're getting ready to get into another episode of Phase 6, Chasing Greatness. Again, Chasing Greatness. If you want to get on the podcast, all you have to do is send a text message to 404-442-4792. Again, 404-442-4792. Again, this is Sirr Love. This is Phase 6. This is Chasing Greatness. And on the show, for all those that are new to the show, what do? We reach out to random individuals that are supporting the channel, individuals that have sent text messages to that number that you just heard, and I am answering their questions and concerns live by reaching out to them direct and saying, hey, I saw your question, let's talk about it, right? I saw your question, let's talk about it. So typically when I respond to these questions, it's going to be between the hours of typically anywhere between 8 p.m. and 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to end by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're normally on a weekday. It could be on a Sunday. Just kind of depends on how things go. So just in the evenings, keep your eyes open. I try not to do it on Fridays because I know those are real work days for us in the game. But listen, here we go. What's on track for today's episode? So there's a lot of people that reached out in the last blast that I didn't get to, and so I want to try to get to as many of them as possible because they did their job. They did their job. They did their due diligence. I reached out to them and said, hey, if you have a question, send it in. I'll try to answer it. And they sent the questions in. There were so many questions sent in, and I didn't get to everyone, and I feel bad about it, and I want to touch as many people as possible. So here we go. We are going to reach out to Leanne Davis, Scarlet Rose, and Peekskill. This is such short notice. How about how you think someone should write a song? How should someone go about writing a song? That is a dope question. I think that is a very, simple to the point, creative question. And I've worked with a lot of artists who've written songs a bunch of different ways. So let's talk to Scarlet Rose in Peekskill, New York. Here we go. Didn't catch Leanne. I'm gonna answer the question because I realize it is mad late. For some of us, this is when we get started working. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Scarlet Rose and Peekskill. How do I think someone should go about writing a song? This is my view, all right, on great music, because I'm a fan of great music. So I've seen a lot of, I got personal views and I got like industry views. So let's start with industry stuff because maybe that's more valid, right? So when I got the opportunity to see like greats like The Dream and whatnot, write records in the studio and do their thing. Like, it was an energy, it's a vibe. They're very particular about who's in the room. Often there's a lot of conversations before you even start doing a song, right? Before, even there's beats pulled up often. It's just a bunch of people in the room having conversations about life, what they're going through, because the artist, the writer, is often pulling from a lot of other people's experience, right? So, collaboration is good. Having, people around you with unique stories and unique lives are good. If you're a songwriter, you want to yourself have a unique life, or you want to have people around you with a unique life so that you can pull stories from them. Most songwriters that are great have really fucked up lives or hang around with people with fucked up lives. And I know that's negative and that's not the most positive thing to say, but I mean, if you're going to write a song about heartbreak, you had to go through that, and that's fucked up. It's not a positive thing to go through. But the songs that come out of it are amazing. So start there with your personal experience and your circle. I think that's the first thing to identify so that you can have good content, a good well to pull your songs, your ideas, and your creativity from. Next, obviously, you want to make sure that you have the proper tools and equipment to do your thing. For some of us, that's just a pen and a pad while we're in the back of a classroom, bored by a teacher. For others, it's a pen and a pad in the back of a studio while listening. And for others, there's no pen and pad required. We go into the studio and record our feelings line by line, which is a popular approach in R&B, which has trickled over to hip-hop. It started off as an R&B concept, but as hip-hop artists started singing more and more on the tracks, they began punching as well. Punching is the practice of basically sing a couple lines, stopping, getting your thoughts together, sing a couple other lines, stopping, getting your thoughts together. The benefit of this strategy is, or this technique, is that your thoughts are free flowing, they're natural, and they don't take as much thought, and they feel more real and more tangible. And you'll say things that you didn't necessarily think that you would have said in a well thought out manner when you have your pad and pen. However, you also have the downside, which is you can lose your song structure very easily. You can lose your track of your melody. You can lose track of the bars, the count, when to wrap up your message. You can lose track of the storyline and what you're trying to get to. The song itself could come out fragmented and not really well put together. You also have to learn the technique of how to punch properly, like when you punch in, you have to punch in with the same intensity and tone, etc., as when your punch closed out. I'm not a good singer, but if I said, baby girl, I'm loving you, yeah. When I come back in, I have to come back in on the yeah. So the energy has to be, baby girl, I'm loving you, yeah. Ooh, ain't no thing that I don't ever do. So when I punch in, I'm coming in, ooh, ain't no thing to do. And I have to punch with that tone. If I punch with, oh, ain't no, it's going to sound crazy. Like just that slight inflection will make the whole shit sound crazy because you're punching in, a couple words at a time. And so it starts sounding choppy. It starts sounding like, baby, I'm loving you, yeah. Ooh, I like, yeah. It's up all over the place. Now, mind you, I can't sing. I apologize for whatever your earbuds just went through. But, it's a technique to punching, right? And so there's a lot to learn about that technique. Versus there's always just good old-fashioned writing your record down, learning the whole song, memorizing it, going there and singing it, or you've read it over so many times you can walk in with the pad and pretty much kill it. There's still a lot of validity in that and having well thought out records. And of course, for our instrumentalists that like to play the piano or guitar and do their thing, there's still a format for that. So for me, the best way to write a song is to make sure that you have good content first. Make sure that you're in the proper space to record it, because it really sucks to have really good content and be unable to capture it in that moment. I really feel like records are best captured in the moment. There are exceptions to that. And I do feel like the right song is the true song. So don't sugarcoat your truth, because what people connect to is the truth and not the lie. Right? So if you write a song and you're scared to say certain things because it may make you look, lame or not cool or weak or hurt or pathetic or whatever negative thing you don't want to be associated with you definitely want to say that shit. That's the shit you definitely want to capture, because that's the insecure emotion that everyone else is also feeling that no one else wants to say. And when Eminem came out and talked and actively talked about getting bullied, a lot of people around the world related to that. Artists have been, people have been getting bullied since the beginning of time. But how many rappers have come out and talked about getting their head flushed down toilets and beat on and bullied and picked on and spit on, right? That's not a popular thing to say. And his vulnerability in that really helped to catapult him into success, talking about the pain of his, of drug addicted parents and growing up in the trailer park. Similar things that makes, hip hop, blossom all together. It's the vulnerability, the pain, the struggle, the heartache, all these things. So whether it's R&B or whether it's hip hop, be brutally honest is my next bit of feedback. And then lastly, I would say perspective. If you can tell the same story from multiple different perspectives, you really have talent there. When I listen to some music, I love this record. Jay Holiday did a record, like Jay Holiday, like he's not even relevant. No offense, Jay, but he had this record. I forgot the name of the song, but it started with "I'm standing," but no, she's standing, holding the keys and the bracelet and something I got her for these 2 years, and on her face I seeing 2 tears, and da-na-na-na. Like the way that he wrote the record, he opened the record with "I'm standing in the door, I see this love of my life, she's holding keys, she's crying, and she's walking out the door." That's how the record opens. The opening scene. Go. right? It put you in a place. It depicted a breakup in a very unique way. It wasn't just she don't want to be with me no more. I lost her. I loved her. I shouldn't have cheated. I'm so bad. You know, it none of that. He just opened the door. She's standing, holding the keys and the bracelet that I got, and I know she's gone for good this time. You know, we've been together 2 years, and on her face, I see these 2 tears. She walked out the door, and I knew, you know, like it was just deep. It was a great. He wrote the record. The record was positioned in a unique way. So the way that you frame records can really change the way that they are perceived, and the way that an audience may respond to the content. So there's a lot. I mean, I can really talk about this forever, but I don't want to do that. There's a lot of people I want to talk to and call. You guys didn't join this particular podcast to hear me break down the psychology behind writing songs, which probably would be a dope episode. Me sitting down with some songwriters talking about the psychology of writing a record. But I love music, and I love R&B, and I know I can't sing. So for those that had to bear through that, you know, just tell your ears, you know, I'm sorry, ears, but, you know, it's Sirr Love. We got to do it for the culture. All right, here we go. Aaron Douglas, dudes from Philly. Let's see if Philly pick up. You know, Philly cats, they be up. Cats in Philly be up. Let's see what happens here.
Hey.
Yo, Aaron. May I speak to Aaron?
Who is you?
What's going on, my guy?
Still going in with the question?
Man, listen, man. I had so many come in. I felt bad. I was like, man, I can't just record 1 episode tonight. I gotta record 2 episodes. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave all these folks hanging out here, man. I saw your message come in, man. I'm glad you still up, man. I done reached out to a couple people on the East Coast, and they done shut it down for the night, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm still out here, man. I'm actually always up working. I'm working, you know, trying to get this, you know, career movement, you know.
I feel it, man. I feel it. And I said it right before I called. I was like, yo, I reached out to 2 cats. One was from Baltimore, someone's from New York. And I was like, yo, this dude's gonna pick up. This dude's from Philly. And Philly dudes be up. They be up. Y'all be up. So, hey, man, I appreciate you, you know, taking time out of your day, you know, in the middle of the night, chop it up with me and send it in a question. I saw your question, and it said, how can my team or I book a full tour? What type of music do you do, man?
It's like hip-hop, R&B. I would put myself in, like, the Drake-ish, Kanye-ish category.
Big Crit, Kanye-ish?
Yeah.
Okay. And, you know, what's your fan base like currently?
Right now, meaning like the, you know, like what's their attributes? I mean, meaning like
how many fans, like, you know, how many fans do you have, or followers do you have?
Oh, followers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got like 30K on Instagram.
What you got on Spotify?
I think I got around like
10K?
10, yeah, around like 10.
Okay. So we 10K on Spotify, 30K on Instagram. What's your engagement like? When you do a post, how many likes do you generally get on average?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
On average, around like 1,000, 1,500, around that.
So you're somewhere around like 3%.
Yeah, 1,000, 1,500.
3% engagement. All right, got you. Somewhere close to there. All right, so have you already looked into the markets in your Spotify data where you're popular?
Yeah, I just sent that over to my team, you know, to go ahead and go through that and everything. Because I'm trying to, you know, even with the COVID, I see other artists still working. So, like, I still want to work too, you know.
So here are my thoughts. All right. Well, what's the age group of your audience that you're servicing right now?
Okay, so let me. Let me go into the Spotify.
You asked the question. I'm like, man, this is to give you the answer. There's so many ways to address it. I'm like, let me,
Let me go into the Spotify right now.
Give it to me.
Yeah, just go in and go ahead. So the age group that they're saying here, okay, we got the top one is Los Angeles and Miami. Hold on, let me keep down the freaking. Hold on, let me go back. I got a song with Bryson Tiller. Let me, hold on. How do I see the? Hold on. Let me figure this one. Well, it's around, as far as age, it's around 25 to 35. 25, 35, around that area.
Bet 25, 35. So your audience is not going to be quick to be out, right?
Yeah.
Your audience ain't going to be quick to be out. You know what I'm saying? If you just said, 18 to 25, I'd have been like, man, they don't give a fuck. But, this audience, they're a little more cautious. They may have kids. They're a little more responsible. They're around people. They're going to do the more responsible thing. They may not be as out. Not saying, everyone's moving like that, but, it's definitely going to impact your ability to tour. So, in my mind, touring is not something that you should be targeting right now during COVID.
Right.
If you're asking this question in general, that's one thing. So, my next question to you is, are we talking general or are we talking during the COVID times right now?
Say one more time.
Are we talking general or are we talking during COVID right now?
Both.
All right. So, let me try to capture all this. So, in general, if your team is trying to book a tour, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the easiest way to do this is to get a booking agent that believes in you, that feels like they can make cap off of you, right? And you to be able to sell that booking agent on your numbers and your stats. Do you currently have the numbers and stats for a booking agent to feel like they're going to be able to hit their numbers? In my personal opinion, no, right? If I was a booking agent, I wouldn't be jumping, out the window for those types of numbers right now, because I wouldn't see where I can really make my money back, right? So instead, I could bet on potential. Well, how could I bet on potential? You'd have to sell me on the fact that you have potential. How would you do that? You'd have to invite me out to a show where you already sold it out and you already got X amount of people there, right? If you can do that and I can see what you're capable of, then I'll go, okay, well, look, I see what this cat is capable of. He has a dope show. His fans are loyal. I'm gonna have you as the opening act on these other shows that I'm already booking. Rick Ross, I'm booking Ross. Ross is getting 80K over here. I'm going to have you open up. You ain't going to get no money, but I'm going to make sure that you get, your rider is covered and your travel and your hotel is covered. Cool? You show up, you do your show, you just in the third. You start doing stuff like that for the booking agent on the love, and you can start creating a tour. But that's off the strength of the booking agent really liking you. In order to do that, the booking agent will likely want something from you. They're going to want to cut of something. They're going to want to cut of the record. They're going to cut of the merchandise. They're going to want to cut of the publishing. They're going to want to cut of something. And if you're smart, you'll give them that cut. You'll negotiate the cut, give them whatever the fuck they need. But you'll make sure that while you're giving them this cut, that it's a guarantee that in order to get the cut, they have to do X amount of things. So you don't give the cut in exchange. In exchange for you being my booking agent, I will give you this. That's a bullshit contract. In exchange for being my booking, in exchange for getting me on X amount of shows in X amount of time period, I will provide you X amount of this, for X amount of time period, right? You make it very, very direct, right? I want to be on 10 shows. Each show to qualify has to have at least X amount of people in the venue, or the venue size has to be X amount of seats, or, you got to get real detailed, because, you'll be performing at someone's barbecue and they'll just to get out the contract, right? Right. So that's the booking agent game. Go ahead.
I like that idea too. I definitely try to implement that and bring it up to the spot about that. I like that idea.
Yeah, man, the booking agent game is a lot of good booking agents. Booking agents want to create relationships with artists when they're not hot yet, but they have a lot of potential, because they're going to feel like they're going to be able to get you for a lower price later. Like when you're charging 20, they know they can get you for 15 on strength and on love. And it gives them a competitive advantage over every other booking agent because the university is trying to book you. They don't care what booking agent does it. This booking agent says, I can get them for 20. This booking agent says, I can get them for 20. Another booking agent says, but I can get them for 15. Guess who's getting the money?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like I like that idea. Yeah, because in Philly, like in this area, like, you know, I can bring out some people in this area.
And that's where you want to get the booking agent. So you need to go, like, if you've seen my booking 101 info pack on the website, get it, grab it. You need it for what we're talking about, because I'm not going to, like, go through the whole shit that I broke down. But I broke down how to find booking agents. So you can find the booking agents, invite the booking agents to your show. Plan the shows on days where you know the booking agents are going to be in your city. Like, you hunting these motherfuckers down. Like, yo, I need a booking agent. Like, this is one of the ways Russ got on. Like, this ain't rocket science. I didn't learn this from Russ. I was doing it, and then I was like, oh, Russ is doing it too. You know? So it's like, it's the booking agents can change everything, you know? So, like, you want to get them to your environment so they can see what you're doing. And if you are really doing it, they're going to get excited, and they're going to want to make plays. But, you know, that's still you betting your career on somebody else. Outside of that, in the same document, I tell you how to go about booking yourself and creating relationships with the venues or the promoters, right? The booking agents have a relationship with the promoter or the venue. That's how they get you booked. But you can get your own direct relationship with the promoter or the venue, get yourself booked, right? And so if you want to book your own show, you want to book your own tour, it really comes down to you getting the information for promoters in every city that you want to go to. And who says you're supposed to do a world tour? I mean, a nationwide tour on the first run. You're in Philly. You should hit the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by East Coast, you shouldn't even touch Virginia. You know what I'm saying? You hit the circuit up there. You hit all these little spots. You know, first hit, you know, go through Philadelphia. Not Philadelphia, go through Pennsylvania. You know, and New York. And you know, just hit all the spots up there first. You know? Like, start in your city. I mean, your region, hit all those spots, and then, you know, build outward from there.
Yeah. That's a guy.
Right? And the more you start hitting those and you hit those regions based off the data. Now, for you said I'm big in LA, I'm big in Miami. So that also means you need to be booking shows in where? LA and Miami.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to, you know, make sure you put yourself on a show where there's someone else there. Reach out to another artist. Go on. You know, I swear this feature on Spotify is so important. Artists similar artists, like similar to me or similar to so and so. It's a feature. Artists similar to so and so. Find one of those artists that are similar to you that's in LA. They got some type of following. Call them up. Like, yo, let's do a show together. It says on Spotify, you know, me and you got similar audience. We got a similar following. I got 10,000 followers. You got 20,000 followers. You know the market. How about you do a show out there? I'm going to plan the show out here, right? I'm going to open up for you there. You open up for me out here, and we both can share our audiences.
Yeah.
This ain't hard, bro. This ain't hard. This is incremental.
I mean, we already been talking about doing our own shows. I mean, I've done my own shows before, you know, I've already booked my own tour before. I just wanted to, because when I asked you, I think I came across one of your videos before, and I think then I just followed you on Instagram or something like that. And so when you came and asked me that question, I just was like, let me just ask him this question. I did my own.
Got it. Well, shoot, you already know what it is, man. You in Philly, so you hitting, you know what I'm saying? You hitting Trenton, you know what I'm saying? Easton or Allentown. You hitting Newark, you know what I'm saying? You trying to get something in New York. You trying to hit Pittsburgh. What else is popping up there? Where else have I been? Did we do something in Scranton? I can't remember. But I'm thinking about the shit. We probably did. You know what I'm saying? You out there in Springfield. You in Hartsfield. You know what I'm saying? You in Warwick. You know what I'm saying? Providence. There's money all out there. You can stop through Boston. Boston's a difficult market. At least to me, it was a difficult market. You know, you playing all in that space. Like, you all up the East Coast. You in Manchester. You know what I'm saying? You all up through there. Like, that's where you should be. right? And you hitting these markets, and you doing your shows. You trying to build your strength across the East Coast. Now, also, your music is already popping, like again in Miami and LA. But you know, those are disparate environments. Like it's hard to work those environments from a distance. So do collaborations in those environments. Partner with people. Do shows. Make sure you save all your data. You need to know how much money you made at the door. You need to know how much money you made, how many people in the venue. You need to try to figure out how much money they made at the bar. You want to try to figure out how much merchandise you sold. You should know how much merchandise you sold, right? You want to have data points, because when you start talking to booking agents, you start talking money, you need to be able to say, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. These are the numbers. These are the statistics. This is how our business works. This is the money. So when they negotiate with you, they're going to tell you, I want some of your merchandise. I want some of your record. I want some of your this. You got to figure out how much you're going to give up for the opportunity. You got to make sure the opportunity is worth it. Can this booking agent do what they say they're going to do? And if they don't, I want to make sure the contract says that you don't get shit if you don't do it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good, some good advice there. Some good advice.
Hey man, I'm just trying to give it to you real. So like as like you said, you did this already. So you can do it yourself, venue to venue, or you can do it through a booking agent and, you know, leverage their talent and their energy. But either way, you know, like this is the best way to set up a tour. But in order to do a tour, before you can even do a tour, you want to increase your audience. You want to increase your following, which means you have to, one, create great music that provides value to your audience. Great music that provides value meaning they relate to it in some type of way that makes them really want to fuck with you long term, right? You touch their soul. They listen to you. They go, damn, your life sounds just like mine. I listen to you because you the realest, you the illest, you the truest, because I feel your shit. I feel it because it's my story. Your story is my story. It's that authentic. Right? Mm-hmm. That's why people support hip-hop. If it's R&B, you tell great stories. You make me happy. You make me sad. You control my emotions. When I'm sad, you make me happy. When I'm happy, I mean, if I'm going through some bullshit, you support me. You cry with me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, whatever the energy is, like, you supply that. So, for you, you know, to make sure your content is amazing musically, and then you also want to make sure the visuals are amazing. You got to make sure you're growing your fan base. You should be investing in playlisting and all these other different things that are going to increase your fan base. You want to strategically target certain markets. There are playlists that are just playlists, and there are playlists that are more popping in certain regions. Target them. Target markets. You know, if you have the bandwidth, invest in radio. It's still relevant.
I think I was also looking when you said that, I believe my memory is coming back, but I think you said that you had booked one of your artists, and he really didn't have a following like that. I think you said that you had got him like a full tour, and he really didn't have a following like that.
No, we didn't do a tour. We did show. Well, it wasn't a tour. We did mad shows. So that artist, it was she did Alabama. She did Nova Scotia, South Carolina, Atlanta, different spaces that she was able to navigate, and right on the cusp of her really breaking loose in the market, a lot of things shifted. But in reference to how we navigated to get that, it was being consistent. I mean, she didn't even have a strong social media following. Her social media following was trash. It was crap. Right? Yeah. And we knew we can get people in the venue. I tell this story all the time. I was working with a promoter at the venue, and it was a small venue. I think max is 350, right? I think the number changes every time I tell the story. It's probably 450, 350, 250, whatever, something around there. Yeah. Venue max, like maybe let's say 350, right? And the venue, the guy, running the promo was like, yo, I want to do this crazy show, and I want it to be lines all around the corner. I want to pack the shit out, and people can't even get in. I want to create hysteria. I was like, really? So how you going to do that? He said, listen, I got like 10 different acts, and each of them got over 100,000 followers, right? Literally. 10 acts, each of them had over 100,000 followers. That's mathematically at minimum 1 million followers, right? Right. Some of these cats have like 300,000. Some of these cats like 400,000. Like I'm there. Like I see these cats. I know these cats. I see how they move. Like these dudes got followers. And they got, some of them have real high engagement, right? Uh-huh. Did the show. I think we got 50. He got, not we, because I was just showed up, but he had like maybe 50 to 60 people in this spot. 50, 60, maybe 100. At best, 100 people in and out at this spot.
Wow.
With 1 million followers.
Wow.
I checked it. All of them posted the flyer. None of them were going crazy. Like, come to my show. They all posted the flyer. Hey, I'm gonna be here tonight. This such and such a day. Right?
Yeah.
Same exact venue. The artist I was working with had probably, damn, I don't even remember no more. I know it was under 4,000 followers for sure. And packed the whole spot out. We had to reject people, and it rained that night.
Wow.
Right. And so, followers are not a testament to fans.
Right, of course. I know that, yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
as you're navigating, like when we went to Nova Scotia, we had fans in Nova Scotia, and we had to capture that data. Like, damn, we got fans in fucking Nova Scotia. Right.
Right.
So, as you're capturing, as you're navigating and moving, there's a lot of information I put out on some of these podcasts that are getting ready to come out. Like, I'm giving Cass game because Cass is asking real ass questions like you. So stay tuned. You're gonna hear some real shit that you can add to your portfolio in reference to how you're moving. And if you haven't gotten the info packs, because I always reference them only because people ask questions that I've already written a whole book about. And I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about something I wrote a whole book about. It's just gonna take me too long. I'm still supposed to record the audio books, and I'm sitting here like, fuck, it's gonna take me 4 hours just to record the damn audio book. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as you're navigating, man, that's how you want to move. I gave you a bunch of different ways, and all the broken down, simple way, like step-by-step ways to do it are in the book and info pack. So just grab it if you haven't grabbed it, and you'll know what to do.
Yeah, like everything you told me, that was good advice. I'm gonna definitely implement it over to the management team on, how we can move, in future, in the future.
I got it, man. Well, shoot, I hope I was helpful. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to try to give you as much value as I could on the call, especially since you're staying up late out there in Philly, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate the energy. Tell other cats about me if they don't know about me already, and I appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, good talking to you. My name ADZ, ADZY, across the board.
ADE, yo, text me your Instagram. Are you following me already?
Yeah, I believe so. ADZY.
Send me a message, man. I'll follow you back.
All right, cool.
All right, bet. Take care, man. One. Boom, another dope conversation. Shout out to my guy. Right here, man. I love his energy. I love what he's trying to do. Like, I just feel the vibes. Like, I can tell, how when people are moving a certain type of way, right? There's levels to it, right? There's levels to this movement. There's still ways to go, but I can tell, when cats are navigating, how cats are navigating. And I know it's a struggle, and I know we're not all where we want to be, but it's a process, right? Here we go. Let's keep going down the list and see who else wants to chat. We got a message here. This looks interesting. Let's see what's happening in Arizona. I sent the message off, and Jamaica sent me a reply saying, would like to know how to maximize on features with big name artists. My artist currently has a feature with Raz Kass, Joel Ortiz, and well-known artists here in Arizona named Futuristic. Also, creative ways we can build on the fan base that we have and use them to get more fans. Well-known artists here in Arizona. Sorry for the mistype. I don't know what else to do. However, I do know that if we can get things going in the right direction, he would do really good. His music is really good. Let's check out Jamaica. Let's see what Jamaica's talking about. Let's just do it. Let's see what's going on here. Let me call and figure out the vibes. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello, man. Speak to Jamaica.
This is her.
What's going on, Jamaica? This is Sirr Love from 46. How you feeling?
Oh, how you doing? I'm doing good.
I am amazing. I appreciate you reaching out and replying to the message.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
Likewise, it has been. Now I'm sitting here questioning. Have you and I spoken in the past, Jamaica?
Yeah, we have. I had a consultation with you before about the artist that I work with. I think it was probably last year.
last year. I remember when I was doing the consultations before. Man, I was just, we've gotten away from those, but I do remember them.
It on your website.
Got it. Yeah. You had an artist by the name of Gold Rush, right? Wait, no, they were booked for the Gold Rush Festival, right?
Yeah.
The Gold Rush Festival.
Ali Cassius Jr.
Got it. Well, how are things going? It sounds like you got a whole new artist now. You're doing a whole different thing. Is that the case?
No, so it's the same artist. Well, the artist it's my husband. And I basically, like, I help him with, like, social media, with marketing, and, like, coming up with, like, ideas and creative ways, or, like, when we do shows. So it's like I basically help him with everything, or help him with, like, reaching out to people. And we were just trying to figure out, like, as far as, like, being more creative and, like, finding other avenues to like, push us to the next level, because I feel like right now, I feel like we're at a stump, but at the same time, like, there's still good things happening. So, like, he just recently did he got a feature from Joel Ortiz, and then he got a feature from Razkaz. I believe he's an older rapper, but he's still pretty relevant in his lane. And Futuristic, which is here in Arizona. He's like he's a big name here in Arizona, and that song's like really dope. So, and the song that he has with Joel Ortiz and Futuristic is like really dope. And we're just trying to figure out like how to maximize on the features, and also like maximize on the fan base that we currently have, but being creative, because, like, you know, can't do shows right now because of what's going on with COVID and everything. And, like, I feel like I'm kind of out of my creative ideas.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot lately. So what's the name of the artist?
Ali Cassius Jr.
Ali Cassius Jr.
You want me to spell it?
Can you? I'm sitting here just freestyle. No, I think I got Ali, A-L-I. Cassius.
Yep, and then Cassius, like Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay.
Cassius.
C-A-S-S-I-U-S.
All right, Brother Ali, Joel Ortiz. All right. So the record isn't immediately popping up as I look it up.
It's No Justice, No Peace.
No Justice, No Peace.
Yeah, that song's actually pretty dope. And Joel Ortiz, he's signed with Eminem. Like, he's with that whole Eminem and Royce the 5'9" and all of them.
All right.
So he has like a little relationship with him that he just started.
So here's my first question: how did you get them on the record? Did you pay them to be on the record?
Yeah, he paid. So we paid Joel Ortiz by just reaching out, because we reached out to a few artists and like didn't hear anything back, and then we finally heard something back from Joel Ortiz. We had already had the feature from Razkaz and Futuristic, which Razkaz, he actually like got a feature just through like conversation and him coming to Arizona, and through like connections and people that he know. So they kind of like had a conversation, hung out at the club and VIP, and then they kind of like went from there. And then Joel Ortiz, he responded, you know, after we reached out. And then he was like, he actually negotiated with us to like, you know, for a reasonable price for the feature, which was within our budget. And then from there, he kind of like built a little relationship where they like, you know, exchange like words back and forth regarding the record. Joel Ortiz letting him know, like, you know, he basically told him like, this is a story. Like, he's like, this is the first time I've ever told this story. I just want to let you know. And he decided to put it on his album, the album with him. So that was pretty dope. And just keeping that line of communication open. So, and then he also was promoting it on his social media, which you don't really see a lot of artists do that do features. they'll promote based on how much you pay, but he didn't pay for all he I thought that was like he was a genuinely good person to do that extra.
Yeah, that was love. That was love.
Yeah,
that was love. So we don't even want to put too much attention around that, because that he ain't going around giving favors out like that to everybody. It was love. There was a good vibe. The record was where it needed to be. Plus, when it's time to do the video, he can come back and cap on the video to be in the video or not, depending on the energy, right? So a lot of artists will do that and come back and cap on the video. And of course, you want to make sure the record is properly sanctioned. Otherwise, the label can pull it down later, which is a whole different thing. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the question in hand, which is about exposure. How do we get exposure? Okay, I got the feature. I dropped the bread. I dropped the bag. I did the networking. I did the relationship to get the feature. Now what do I do? Well, the thing about this is what the feature does. Let me explain to you the value of a feature, because I don't think people understand what they're trying to do when they do it, right? So the purpose of a feature is to do two things. One is to lessen the burden of the gatekeeper, right? So there are people that you're going to go to where you're going to ask for support. Knowing that you have a feature on the record will increase the chances that they'll give you the support. Historically, that was, I'm going to the radio, I want them to play my record. The chances that they will play it will increase if I have a solid feature on the record, right? Especially if that feature is hot at the time. Other gatekeepers could be bloggers, PR, press, events, promoters, booking agents. There's just a lot of different areas where someone else's name can provide leverage and credibility to what you're looking to do. All right, so you got that part. Boom, stamped. Got it. All right, the next thing is that you have the opportunity to bleed over into their fan base. Their fans will come to listen to the record just to hear Joel Ortiz, or I think he said Joey Badass. Is that who he said in Futuristic? Or he said Razzcast. I'm sorry, Razzcast and Futuristic or whatever. So all these different artists, their fans will come to hear the record, or they'll just because of the algorithms today, the playlist or whatever will naturally refer this record, and your artist gets heard and people start saying, who is that? So you have the opportunity to get fan bleed over, right? Which is the beautiful part of it. Now, all of these are great things. Basically what you did is you supercharged your record, but at the end of the day, it's still a record, and in order to make the record move, you got to have a dope visual. You have to put money behind the visual to make sure that people see the visual. You have to have a strategic plan in order to capture data from all the people that are seeing the visual. You have to have money to push the record itself on playlisting platforms, on radio platforms, on blogs, or whatever else that you can get it on, so you can get more exposure for it. You're in an exposure chase. An exposure chase costs capital. The best way to, you've already put features on it, so the record's going to go further than it naturally would just because of what you've added to it, right? You put it on steroids, so the record's going to do. So if you had 10 bands, you put 10 bands. Let's say 10 bands got you a 10% return, which is this makes no logical sense. I'm just trying to get you to understand metrics. Let's say the record, cost 10 bands, got you a 10% return. We're not talking about return on money or anything specific, like just return on what you were looking for, 10% more fans, whatever, right? By putting all these features on there, maybe the record gives you 20, 30, maybe even, maybe like 20, maybe 12, 15, maybe 30, whatever % increase instead of the 10, right? However, if only 1,000 people hear it, the record without those features would have gotten you what? 1,000 plus 10%. Right, 1,000. Yeah. Right. Now that you got them on it, it gives you. 1,100. Now you got them on it, it gives you 1,000, 1,200. Right. So it increases the value of the return on the record. When you only are allowing, when you're only touching it at a small scale, it doesn't mean much. So again, the record in a natural state. Let's say it had a 10% return. You put the record out there. 1,000 people heard it. No features. Came back. You got 1,100 return out of that. You put features on it, now you're getting 1,300 return on it because it was 30% instead of 10. Well, 1,100 people hearing your record versus 1,300 people hearing your record really isn't a big deal in your mind. But when you do that at a scale of 1 million, that difference becomes 1.1 million versus 1.3 million. Now that's a 200,000 person difference. We're just talking impressions. We're just talking about people that are seeing the record. 10 million people see it. That's 11 million versus 13 million. So what's basically happening is, and this could be very confusing because I'm not using any real metrics or numbers here. I'm just trying to show you that what has in turn happened is your record is quantifiably more valuable with the features than it is without them. However, that value is exponentially related to the exposure that it gets. So the more exposure that you get on that record, the more valuable that feature is. The less exposure you get on that record, the less value that feature is. So if you're not pumping that record, then that feature was a waste of money, because you're not maximizing the return on the feature. You feel me? I said a lot to confuse the shit out of everybody that's probably listening to this right now.
No, you're getting though. I get it, cause like, well, so far what we did was, like we paid for somebody to review it, which they have like almost 20,000 followers on their own.
That's
and
good.
They're legit. And then we had it featured in like a couple of blogs, and there were even some blogs that because they liked his music, they picked it up like without him even knowing.
Yep.
It was I think it was Reddit. Like he didn't even know that they picked it up. And what else? We did the blog, the review, and then we did press releases too. But I feel like we're still not seeing the results that we want.
Are you playlisting?
Like
Are you playlisting?
But I don't know, like if we need to, like, huh?
Are you playlisting?
No, we haven't playlisted.
Yep.
It's so hard to get it. Like, it's
No,
so
it's
hard.
not. It's not.
We tried it before.
No, it's hard to get on the big playlist. I just talked about this on the last episode. I'm gonna do it again. Instead of making you wait for the next, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it from a playlisting perspective. I did it about blogging. It's the same shit. Right? The concept is this: people at the top, and I'm gonna run through it quickly because you're gonna be able to catch it on another episode that's getting ready to come out. People at the top are disconnected from people at the bottom. Just because as you grow in the game, you just naturally get disconnected. You live a different lifestyle, you have a different culture, you're just disconnected. Like the shit that's happening on the block, you no longer know when you Diddy, right? You don't know, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of levels between on the block and Diddy, right? So you get lost with what's happening on the block way before you get to Diddy, okay? So I say all this to say that the playlisters at the top have no idea what the fuck is hot. Rap Caviar, they don't know what the fuck is hot. They don't know. You know how they find out what's hot? They find out what's hot by what's bubbling up underneath them. And it's their job to keep their hands on the pulse of what's. So if you want to get to the top, you need to beat every contender on the way up. This is a boxing match. You start at the bottom. What is the easiest playlist that I can get on that does hip hop? I want to be on all of them. And I want to crush it. I want to be the dopest record on all those playlists. And then next thing you know, the playlist at the next level are like, yo, that record must be hot. You start talking to them. Yo, put me on. Look what I'm doing here. And they put you on. And then some people start putting you on just because. Then the algorithm starts working. The algorithm starts supporting you. And then you start pushing yourself for higher records. And how do you get in contact with these playlists? Do you know what a playlist is? A playlist is a person like me and you. I have playlists on my phone right now. If I go on my phone, I have dope playlists that I love. Right? I got a playlist called Love 0863. That's a playlist of me and my wife. When we met, this is all the songs we was listening to. I know there's a bunch of other people that was in love when I was in love. You was in love like I was in love, and you love these records too, right? But that's my playlist. Right. If I make that playlist public, a bunch of other people may also like that playlist, and they may start following that playlist. It's because they're like, ooh, I like this song. I like this array of, I like how they set these songs up. If I mess around and get 20,000 people following it, next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, 20,000 people like what I like. Now I am all of a sudden a playlister. Like becoming a playlister isn't hard. You can become your own playlister. Y'all can go out there and make your own playlist. But anyway, that's a different challenge. But once you become a playlister, what happens is people start reaching out to you saying, hey man, you have this playlist. I'll pay you $100 if you put me on there. And you're going, to put you on my playlist? Really? Like, for a person that just made a playlist because they love the music, it's weird to them. But this is how playlisting starts. This is the organic foundation of it. There are people that have made a business out of it, that have went out there and said, hey, I'm going to get as many followers to our playlist as possible, and then I'm going to charge people for slots and blah, 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 right? This is playlisting in a nutshell. So you're going to go out there and you're going to communicate with all the people that run the various different playlists. Some of them are organizations that are hard to touch. Some of them are individuals. You're going to build relationships with them. You're going to pay them. You're going to ask them to put your record on there. You're going to fight to get your record high up in the playlist, because no one listens to 100 songs in a playlist, right? So like, you want to fight to be toward the top. You're going to play the game. You're going to pay this person $100 to be on there for 4 weeks. You're going to pay someone else $500 to be on theirs for 4 weeks. You're going to pay someone, you're going to pay for play. You're going to pay for being on all these playlists. Does Spotify support this? No. But is that the culture and what's happening? Yes. Right? You're going to get on all these different playlists. What's going to happen? Your followers are going to go up because you're on these playlists. Spotify is going to see you on these playlists. They're going to put you on more playlists because you're on playlists. You're going to start popping up in people's Discover Weekly. Right? All these things start happening. So you start from the bottom and you just kill everything at the bottom and work your way up. Like, that's the organic, I don't have no money approach. I'm not saying that you don't have no money, but if that would be the organic, I don't have no money approach. If you got bread, then you can start talking to some of these higher playlisters and just paying to get in. Like, I know cats, you're like, yo, how much you got? There's different levels. Like, yo, this playlist, you can pay $150. You can be on all these different platforms, $150K. There's another one, there's other people, those are brokers. Like, there's brokers that do that. Then there's cats that are like, yo, you know, I have relationships with playlisters, and if you pay me $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, I'm gonna work your record on all these different playlist platforms. There's all these people that do provide these services. Do you have to vet them? Are some people bullshitting? Are some of them whack? Are some of them good? Yes, but that's your due diligence that you have to do, and it's gonna cost you money to figure it out. It's gonna cost you money to find out who's real and who's bullshit, but you gotta spend it to find it out. And once you have that relationship, you keep working it, you pay that person, you put them on a monthly retainer, they keep working your records.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, we have been bullshitted a couple times. Like, we had somebody that were like, oh, well, your music isn't, because I guess their playlist was more for, like, depressing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the emo,
like, oh,
emo
your
rap.
music
Yeah.
isn't for ours. Yeah, they were like,
audience.
but if you pay us, we can connect you with other playlisters. And I'm like, well, how is that? I don't know. I just felt like we got scammed a few times where it was like, well, they tried to, but we kind of like caught onto it before we spent money, and then there was some where we did spend a little, and it was just like total BS.
You gotta be
so
savvy.
The hard part is like finding. For me, it's like trying to find the legit playlisters where I can get the song on there.
When it comes to that, so I know people, but they're all at different price points, and I don't like referring people to things that cost absorbent amount of money, because if it doesn't go right, if your relationship with that person doesn't go right, I don't want it to be on me. But what I do know is that for you navigating this situation, there are BSs, and there's no way around it, right? You got to figure that out. You got to be able to navigate, and it's almost like, I hate to say it, but it's like the streets. There's someone that'll sell you powder. You gotta know what it is that you buying. You gotta be astute, and you have to know your business. You have to know what you're doing. So you should be targeting the playlist that you want and looking for those people. The process of just finding someone that says, "Oh, I can get you on playlist," that typically doesn't go well, because there's more people scamming in that space. But if you go find the playlist that you're interested in, and then you chase them down, you know that what you're looking for is real.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's how I did it. And then in the process of doing that, I ended up finding people that were more legit that I put my money behind. And we were already aligned because we were already on the same shit. So is it more work? Yes. Is it really easy to have someone's like, hey, come to my website, pay me $500 and I'll get you on all these playlists? That seems so easy. Just give you $500? Great. But could you get scared?
Right.
Yeah. Is it harder to find the playlist owner and say, oh, your playlist name is XJ1555, and then you're Googling that, trying to find a Facebook page, trying to find their mystery name, what city they're from, do they have an email? Like, yeah, it sucks. You got to chase these motherfuckers down. But once you find them, guess what? You create a library. You put them all in Excel. The next thing you know, you have a list of all the playlisters, and guess what? You become the playlist plug. Motherfuckers can start coming to you. You can start side hustling. You can start side hustling and shit. You can start using money from other artists to fund your husband's career, because you know all the playlisters. Like it's work. But again, I said this on the other episode. People pay for two things. They pay for something that either they cannot do or that they do not want to do. So if you're paying, it's because you don't want to do the work. So if you don't want to do the work, then go pay people. And you may get scammed, but that's fine. Keep paying till someone doesn't scam you. If you don't like that idea, then go do the work yourself and you won't get scammed. But it's work, and it's going to suck, and it's going to be annoying, and you're going to have to do the work. And this is the reason people pay people, because no one wants to do that shit. Or they didn't know how to until they heard this episode or heard me talking to you right now, right? Like, playlisting isn't a crazy concept. You're talking to a random person that has a playlist that people just so happen to like. You're talking to regular human beings, and you're building a relationship.
That makes sense. So I just gotta,
You gotta put the work in.
But I mean, I don't. Yeah, I know. But I mean, I don't mind because I'm big on like researching and like looking up stuff and figuring out stuff on my own. But I just hate when I feel like I get stuck and I'm like it's almost like how people get writer's block. Yep. I'm not a writer, but like sometimes I feel like I get like trapped in a black hole and I'm like, okay. Usually I would know which way to go or what to do next, but sometimes it's just like I feel like we've tried quite a bit of things and it's like, what am I missing?
No, I agree.
But that makes total sense.
I agree. What I've noticed for people that are in this game is that a lot of people, they're hustling, they reach a barrier, they reach the next level, and then they're stuck. They're running around in circles chasing their tail because they don't know what to do. And it's just a knowledge thing. And luckily, I have the information. I can share it to you and tell you what to do. And once you get that knowledge, you unlock it, boom, a whole nother level opens up for you. So boom, this playlist and thing starts popping. Your record's all over the place. Next thing you know, you'll be asking me about merchandising and touring and how do I do that shit? You'll get stuck again. You'll be like, I don't know what to do now, right? It's just how it goes. Like, and I had to break through the same barriers myself. Luckily, I was so blessed to be grow up in a neighborhood where just so happened that, you know, on my story, fucking Boyz II Men was recording songs up the street from my house. Usher was recording was like up the street from the house around the corner. I walked around the corner and was in a studio with the top motherfuckers in the music business. Like, that was proximity. Like, I was blessed. That was an opportunity. Everyone doesn't get that. So I got to, as a kid, go and sit in a studio in someone's house and be around greatness as a child, 13 years old. So I got to learn a lot of shit that people don't necessarily know. So I get it. It's hard to find this shit out. But it's not hard. This game is not voodoo. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's not magic. Everything in the music industry is very easy. It's just work. People spend a lot of the time doing two things. A, not wanting to work. B, not knowing how to fucking work. If you can overcome those two things, you'll win. It's like, I should put that on a t-shirt. You fucking win. That's it. That's it. It's not hard. It's not hard, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And luckily for you, you know, you're married to the talent. I mean, shit. You know, one of the hardest parts about this game is as a manager or a business person is trusting the fucking talent. Talent will leave. Talent will do all sorts of things. Talent. Oh man, talent. That's hard.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what you're up for. You know, I'm not going to blow up the spot or nothing like that, but, you know, y'all are married together. You know you guys are going to go through the ups and downs of this game and dealing with this space and this industry and the shit that you guys will have to go through as a couple, you as a manager, seeing, you know, what happens and how it works. And, you know, it's just a lot to navigate, and the two of you together will have to be strong and figure these things out and make compromises and understand where y'all want to be. And obviously, I heard him in the background. I know he's listening. I heard him in the background throwing a couple things out there, like, yo, you know, so like y'all working together. Y'all doing exactly what the fuck y'all supposed to be doing. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's supposed to be doing. Like, he the artist. Yo, I can't be in this conversation, but make sure you say this. Yeah, y'all working. Do your thing. You know?
I gotta take a note. Write this down.
keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all work together, you know, to make y'all lives better. But right now, everything that I just said about playlisting is also true for blogging, is also true for booking and shows, is also true for events. It's the same philosophy. It's just executed in different ways. So, you know, more information like this, check out the info packs I put on the website. I put them out there. I write pages and pages of me talking real shit, and just I write them intentionally like I talk, so that it's easy to understand. Cop some of them, the ones that are relevant. Don't buy nothing that doesn't make no sense to you. I'm not trying to do no plug. I'm just telling you, like, for what you're trying to do, I've already written down some stuff. So grab it and read it and apply it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
No problem, man.
It's like I feel like a little weight lifted off of my shoulders, because I even like said, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not, and my thing, I'm like, maybe we need to like, because I know like we need to work his current fan base, like his people, like his followers, and like that's one of the things I feel like he's not taking advantage of right now. So I've been like on him about that. Like, you got to take advantage of that. You know, you got to nurture the people that's riding with you now, so then they can bring more people onto you. Like, you know. Yeah,
but he's an artist. So you got to think about this. I'm going to tell you, like, from an artist perspective, artists want to be purist. But purists are broke. So if you want to be a successful artist, you have to learn to be a master or become master-like of the things that you are uncomfortable doing. If there's a list of things that are required for you to be a great artist, an artist puts an emphasis on the things that they're good at. I'm good at rapping, I'm good at writing, I'm good at performing, I'm good at staying in shape, I'm good at but on that same scale, there's also, do you communicate, do you do social media posts, do you post regularly, do you take pictures correctly, do you understand lighting, do you understand angles? And the artist will say, I want to hire someone to do that, someone else should do that, I shouldn't have to do that. Yes, one day you won't have to do that, but today, motherfucker, you got to do that. You know, you got to do that shit today. That's how that shit works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked with artists that are like, Beyonce doesn't do radio drops. Yeah, bitch, Beyonce doesn't do radio drops today, but shit, go back to Destiny's Child. She was on that shit. Say my name, V10543. Call in right now. Fuck, do that shit. What the fuck you gotta do? You know, like, you gotta do that shit. You either do it or fail. Like, you gotta do that shit. It sucks. I don't understand camera angles. You better get on YouTube and learn. You better get on YouTube and act like you gives a fuck. You know, like, you gotta treat it like your life's on the line. Like, I remember when I left entertainment, then I went into nonprofit, and I gave everything to nonprofit. I put all my money up for these damn kids. Not these damn kids. I really love those kids. But I was investing money in the DJJ and in the education system. I had a partnership with Neo, and we were doing shit in the Neo and Chris Kids organization. We were doing shit in all these different outpatient facilities, and you know, I was putting up money. I was putting up my own money, and I was going broke doing this shit. And I remember I was like, yo, I gotta get some cash. And I was doing television. I didn't like television. I didn't like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. No offense to them. Mona Scott is killing it. She's doing her thing. So all support to the crew. You know, it's the Ex-Violator clique. But like, there was just a whole, and my man Brian Jones for putting me on. Shout out if you're listening. But I remember I hit a spot where I was trying to figure out the next play, and my cousin is in tech. He's the vice president of this tech company. He was like, hey man, I can get you in doing graphic design. I said, graphic design, bro? I don't do no damn graphic design. I don't know nothing about no graphic design. I had a baby on the way. I had my first daughter was on the way. I had walked away from entertainment. I mentally did not want to go back. I had spent all my money in nonprofit. I was fucked up. I was jammed up. You know what the hell I was doing? I was online looking at YouTube videos on how to photo edit. Right now, to this day, I can make a rainy day look like it's sunny as fuck on Photoshop. Right now.
That's dope.
I got kids to feed. Like, you ain't got time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, you got to get out here and put in work. It's just what it is. It's shit you're not going to want to do, but it's required in order for you to be great. So be great, and guess what? When you hire someone to come in and do that shit next, you'll be able to tell them what the fuck to do. Hey, I don't like that. Take my picture at a 92-degree angle, not a 90-degree angle. It makes me look better. My chin looks better. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I go into the studio, I know everything. I know the compression, the reverb. I know everything. I'll be like, yo, turn the ratio down. Like, how do you know this? I used to be an engineer. Oh, shit. You know, like, you'll learn shit. It'll make you better along the way. So tell him whatever's stopping him from being great, he got to overcome it. Otherwise, he don't want it bad enough. And that's that.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to get out of here, though. I appreciate the energy. I hope this was helpful. Hope this was motivational. I hope it gave you guys some guidance, and I hope it's guiding everybody else that is listening to the channel. But I really appreciate you supporting, and I mean, I think you've been rocking with us for a minute. Like, does it have a date on here?
Yes.
Like 2 years or something like that, right?
Watching all of your videos. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I need another video. He's not putting nothing up. Because there was like a point where you went MIA for a minute.
Hey, man.
And then I was like, what the heck? So I would go between you and then the Brian Jones, him. Like, I would go between both of you. I was like, what is it going on? He's not putting. And then you came out with your new videos. And I think it was was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year. I did some stuff and then I stopped. Yeah, man, I had to stop again for life because I got my new set of kids and I got married and I was like, man, I want to just live this time. This time around, it was sweet. So I was like, let me do this. But we back. These podcasts are getting ready to drop, and we're breaking them up into pieces. There's a lot of content coming, and thank you for being a part of the podcast and being on an episode. I really appreciate the love and the energy, and I look forward to us having conversations in the future. Remember, if you have questions, shoot them to me because I'm going to be doing this regularly, just reaching out to people at random and answer questions that they have. That is the format going forward. So I really appreciate your energy. Good luck to you and your artists, your hubby, your family. I wish you and your family the best, and feel free to reach out. If you have questions in the future, I'll try to get to it. No promises, but if I can, I will. That's how I'm built.
That's what's up, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate you too.
You always have great information. Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Enjoy your night too. Take care. Dope vibes. I let that one run long because I felt like that was a real conversation that just really needed to be had. So I'm not sure what you guys are going to pull from that. I'm not sure how long we're going to make that clip even. But what I do know is that I'm thankful that you guys have continued to watch, listen to the channel. Remember, the number is 404-442-4792. Again, 404-442-4792. Send me a text message with your question. I may randomly call you. We may randomly have a conversation. Maybe I change your life. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. I'm just giving you what I know, right? Giving you what I know. I'm having a good time, man. Shameless. I really truly believe in helping people, and everything that I know that I can do to help, I will do. I do not know all things. As I always say, I do not know everything, but I do know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm always trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Go to www.phasevi.com. That's Phase, Phase 6.com. The 6 is vi.com, and get some downloads, get some resources, get some additional services, get some aid and assistance as you're trying to pursue, not even trying, as you're in process of pursuing your musical ambitions. Allow me to support you. Thank you for allowing me to support you. Thank you for supporting us, and I appreciate y'all energy. I am Sirr Love, and I am out.
Come on and face it. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love.
Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, I said real talk. I said real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase.